Fellas, we're about to watch Destiny wank his way through why people leave the left. He's gonna try to defend the indefensible, which always ends in a ridiculous cope spiral. He can't admit that communism has been penetrating the Democratic Party for decades. They never condemn
What? Okay, right off the bat, communism has been penetrating the Democratic Party for decades. Who won the election in 2016? That was almost a decade ago, okay? It wasn't decades, okay? That was a decade ago, okay? Who won the election in 20? Yeah, oh, in the primaries? Oh, right. Oh, okay. It was Hillary. Yeah, that's right. Hillary won over Bernie. And then Bernie got defeated twice. He got defeated twice. What do you mean communism has been, like, fucking... Okay, alright, fucking
communism.
man.
Black Lives Matter was a movement started by communists, and they got mainstream corporate and government support. These are the fiery but mostly peaceful people. Destiny has to ignore all of this. Now, I retire Destiny as one of the highest intellectual thinkers on the left. Let's see how he navigates his way through his O.J. Simpson level of defense.
There must be left-wing people that do this, and I'm just not seeing it or something. But these right-wing people are so good at, like, organizing stuff and doing stuff in the real world. Like, this guy has this...
Dude, he's just delusional. Dude, all the mainstream Democrats are not fucking pierced by communism, dude. It's like, that is one of the most delusional fucking... Also, the word communism doesn't even have any, like, meaning anymore. Do you know what communism is? A set of philosophies and a set of theories that is about reestablishing the economy. It's purely an economic concept where you are reorganizing, capitalism into like a command economy, commanded from like a top-down level, all right? Where a vanguard party sets the prices for everything below, because that should be more efficient, and private constructs do not operate as efficiently or something like that. Anyway, yeah, like that is communism. Okay, that's communism, all right? But somehow we went from a set of economic theories to social theories to BLM to whatever the fuck to even being slightly on the left. That's communism now. Like, have I ever seen a single mainstream Democrat, even Bernie Sanders, advocate for like actual communism?
This whole ass debate league with all these high schoolers from different schools around the state and the country, I think. It's so annoying how good right-wing people are at like organizing stuff. And I feel like, I feel like left-wing people don't organize as much. But I have a thing for this.
Dude, when you say the right is so good at organizing stuff and the left isn't, for the rest of the conversation, however you're trying to trash the right is going to look like absolute cope. That's just a fundamental characteristic of being a coherent political party, is being able to organize events and have them be productive. And it's 2025, it's the current year. And Destiny's like, whoa, what is this shit they're doing? They're getting along and forwarding a culture of debate?
By the way, okay, even when Destiny says it, he's only talking about Charlie Kirk. Like, is there anybody but Turning Point USA that has been trying to do like the huge political organization on the, like, trying to appeal to the Gen Z? Like, is there literally anybody else from the right who's... I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to like name one, right? Like, I don't think Ben Shapiro or the Daily Wire is like a thing anymore in terms of like a large influence who is trying to make an influence on Gen Z, right? I'm pretty sure it's literally only Charlie Kirk, no? Like, fuck, I mean, Charlie Kirk himself, it's pretty big, but, like, yeah, fuck. I mean, it's only just one organization, no?
And then Destiny's like, this must be happening on the left, and I'm just not seeing it.
There must be left-wing people that do this, and I'm just not seeing it or something.
Well, you attempted that, Destiny, with David Pakman, who dropped off of a show because you were on it. And you tried to do the whole Steven Crowder thing yourself.
We've made a justification for an evolutionary biologist to not talk about evolutionary biology because it's, like, insensitive.
No. He's free to talk.
By the way, okay, like, Destiny doing these campus appearances is actually totally based, okay? I mean, like, it's not as good of a content as, like, the slop debates, where it's, like, all fucking drama and politics and shit, right? But, like, I mean, like, if you really care about political action, yeah, like, fucking appearing on these kinds of things is actually kind of based, okay? Yeah. I mean, it's not like Charlie Kirk had the audiences that Destiny has, right? Like when he first started out debating on college campuses, right? Like he probably also had like 10 or 20 people there. But like now after a while, it seems as though that, you know, now Charlie Kirk has like hundreds of people at like gathering around him, right? Whenever he shows up at a college campus, right? Like these kinds of things takes time to build up, but you know. Also, by the way, fuck David Pakman. Dude, David Pakman dropping out is cucked as fuck. Dude, people already bought tickets based on the fact that David Pakman was going to appear, okay? Including Destiny and David Pakman, okay? Like, they bought it based on the fact that David Pakman was going to appear. And in addition, David Pakman knew about Destiny's drama the entire time, all right? And he was totally okay setting up the event with him, all right? So yeah, fuck David Pakman, okay? Like, fuck. That is kind of cucked, okay? As much as David Pakman gives, like, good takes, that was a cuck move, all right? Yeah.
about it, but I'm also free to scrutinize the implication by which, like, why is he demanding it? This is now the time to bring it up.
Well, because people
In
want him to have a
response to a
conversation about like race and stuff, right? So wouldn't this be, if he was ever going to do it, like that would be?
I think it's a little bit unfair to characterize it as like, oh, people just want to have a discussion about race. Like,
That's true. They didn't want to have a discussion about race. They wanted to force white people off the campus using social pressure.
I don't see a problem with telling those people, yo, shut the up, like, because you don't have any interest in actually engaging in a debate. If someone's out there and saying, trans people should be genocided, and you shoot that person and you take that person off the face of the earth, I don't think that's inherently a bad thing.
Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, whatever you think about them, they have gone out into the world and recorded their debates with college kids and professors at these colleges and non-students as well. They're open for questioning, they are ready to debate, they are fundamentally sound in their opinion. And Destiny has tried to do this himself, and he's acting like he never knew of any attempt from the left of trying to do anything similar, even though he's been involved with it. But now let's move on to Destiny acting incredibly deep while saying absolutely nothing. It's true.
Again, it's just like, I don't even know what his point is here. Like, oh, Destiny is like a hypocrite, or is he like ineffective, or like what exactly is the case here? Yeah, Destiny is against very left-leaning people, and he is against MAGA, right? Like, these are not mutually exclusive things. Like, I'm not saying that he's a centrist. I'm just saying that he has a position and he's willing to take it, right?
Really incredible.
I've spoken about two different things. The right in the United States of America. Okay, there is this thing called politics. Okay, so one thing that I've said is the right is very much, okay, politics. The right is very much concerned with politics. So politics is like, in my mind, politics is the acquisition of political power. If you are practicing politics in a democracy, you're trying to get people to vote for your guy, right? You want people to vote for your guy so that you can hold elected office, so that you can enforce whatever policies, you know, you think are right or good.
Wait, is this the point that he thinks he's
So politics
bad
is
on?
like, in my mind, politics is the acquisition of political power. If you are practicing
Wait, hold on. So to be clear, this YouTuber is bringing up this example specifically as a way to display that Destiny is saying a lot of words but not actually meaning anything, right? Like where he just yaps. If this is what I'm thinking of, right? He is basically trying to tell his audience that people like Hassan are not actually practicing politics, because politics is the acquisition of political power. But then when Hassan does it, it seems as though they're using politics as an avenue for money, clout, and an audience, right? That is Destiny's point in this segment, which he has made a really good point of, okay? So I'm not entirely sure like what this YouTuber is trying to get at.
Politics in a democracy, you're trying to get people to vote for your guy, right? You want people to vote for your guy so that you can hold elected office, so that you can enforce whatever policies, you know, you think are right or good or the best for the country, right?
Proof that his audience must be made up of majority 14-year-olds. Yes, Destiny.
He made a cogent point there. What has this guy just like simply not been listening, or what?
That sounds like that's what politics is. Took you 30 seconds to say that whole thing. You were really working your way through it. Let's see how that applies to the left.
And I said that the feeling that I have in the online communities is the left kind of practices something different than politics, where the goal isn't to get people to vote for somebody. They're doing something different. It looks like politics, and they say it's politics, but it's not politics. It's something different.
This
but
is
the
the
left
point.
is practicing kind of like a social signaling, or it's more like a social, like a group thing, where you signal to people that you're part of like this in-group, and you do it with political issues, but that's all you're concerned about, is kind of like protecting your in-group.
Communism, Destiny. You're describing communism.
What? What do you mean? Dude, the word communism literally has no more meaning. Dude, the word communism is just anything I just don't like, okay? Communism is literally anything I just don't like. Or dude, what is he? Oh my god. I would just love for him to just define what communism even is. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, it's like, oh, okay, whatever Hassan's, I mean, technically he is a tanky, right? So that's not entirely wrong, you know? I just don't think it's entirely wrong that, you know, Hassan is a tanky, and obviously he probably does believe in communism, right? But, like, the thing is that that's beside the point. He's basically saying what Hassan, the way that Hassan is, like, talking about things, and the way that these lefties are, like, talking about issues, the very practice of using politics as a means, as a social club, is communism. When, again, communism is a set of economic policies, which ironically Hassan does support, right? But, like, the fact that he even interprets Destiny's talk as yapping goes to show, like, this person's, like, comprehension on the issue. Also, I like how he says, like, Destiny's audience is full of 14-year-olds, when, like, I'm pretty sure multiple age demographic, you know, surveys have been made where it shows that the average audience of his age is like mid-20s. Oh, sorry, median or something. Like mid-20s or early 30s, okay? Yeah. Which is just about what you expect, okay? That's also Asmongold's audience, whatever the fuck, okay?
That's where the purity comes from, and there's no enemies to the left. You just keep going further and further left.
What is he talking
And then
about?
if you're further right at all, they condemn you and scold you. So what you're describing is,
What?
you know, I mean, they say they're communists. The largest leftist political streamer, Hassan Piker, is a communist. He's gone on Theo Von. He's talked to AOC and Bernie Sanders.
I'm old. I love you, Foodshops. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that, okay? Yeah. Peace.
Who are socialists, which is communist. Are you
Okay. People online say, like, oh, I'm fucking 30 years old or some shit. I'm old. Just how old are you? Like, you can't be 30, right? Like, you have to be at least, listen, if you have to be considered old, you have to be at least 50, okay? Fuck. I don't know, dude. Like, or 45, all right? 50? Okay, all right, you're old.
trying to not see it? Okay, so that's the criticism of the left. Let's see what the criticism of the right is.
One thing that I noticed, because my friend who is so original made the 4 millionth joke to me that people have made, where they're like, oh, hey, well, if your shit gets like super you can always just do a why I left the left thing and become a Christian and join the right. And then we're kind of talking about this back and forth, and then this topic comes up of like, why? Like, why are the right so forgiving of everything? Like, why is it that the right can, you know, take people back or not hold people to this like high standard of behavior, whatever, and the left does it? And then I realized, I don't think I've ever had this revelation before. This never clicked me on stream before. But I realized why, and the answer is really obvious. The answer is because the right is not interested in purity testing. I think I was close before to understand this when I said, well, they do purity tests, but they purity test around voting for the candidate. The reason why the right doesn't purity test is because the goal of the right is to practice politics. All the right wants to do, fundamentally, is win elections. The left does not want to win elections, or at least the far left or the left online people. Their goal is not to win elections. Their goal is something different. I don't know what it is.
Revolution, Destiny. The far left is communist. What is the far left if not communist? They want revolution. That's why they go outside of democracy while calling it democracy. They say they're protesting while enacting political violence. And the Democrats justify it and make it more normalized. Whenever the left engages in political violence, that's just an uprising, that's them just making their voices heard even though they're causing violence, and we should be more afraid of what right-wingers say and completely ignore the violence from the left. Did you just squeeze out of your mom's snatch yesterday?
But their goal is something different.
I don't even know what to say. Like, like what am I like? What the fuck am I supposed to say here? Like, dude, that's not, dude. The word communism is just anything I don't like. Okay, communism really is. We are all communism. Okay, we are literally. What if the real communism are like the friends we made along the way? Are you transforming this material? No.
I realize now, I think that is the answer to when you're wondering, like, why is the right so accepting of people who are coming from the left? You don't see people doing like, why I left the right and why I joined the left, you know, because the left isn't even accepting of those people. Once a Nazi, always a Nazi, or once a, you know, if you supported this guy ever, or you said this 15 years ago, you know, we're never taking it. And it's like, well, why? And I think I understand now. It's because in their mind, the goal, the end goal is some sort of, I don't want to use the word purity because it's overused, but it's some sort of like social group that has to have like a set of beliefs in order for you to belong to it, to feel good about being in that group, and then you reinforce that, and you're like practicing some kind of like basically like a social club, which isn't necessarily bad. Like you can have clubs and you can have groups and you can have popular groups and in-group, out-group preference and all that. That's fine, but when you call it politics, I think that that's really bad because they're not doing politics. And so something that I thought was interesting and something I used to complain about a lot is we're playing by two different sets of rules, and that's untenable. We can't have it so that the right is, you know, in the, I don't even want to say in the dirt, in the mud. They're playing a totally different game.
Right, they're playing the game of politics, which is already a dirty game, but they're playing.
No, dude, okay. What Destiny specifically is talking about is that the far left, like Hassan, are basically using politics as a social tool. All right, they're saying they're playing politics only for the purpose of gaining some kind of social benefit. Okay, the end goal is social benefit. All right, whether it is making friends or it is gaining clout or earning money by gaining clout or whatever the fuck. All right, either way, all right, it is all about loneliness and wanting to make friends and wanting to meet people through politics. Okay, however, the right can make friends through politics, except the end goal at the end of the day is in fact to get their candidate elected. Okay, that is the entire point of what Destiny's saying. Obviously, you know, whatever, but also, you know what's also rich for me is that this guy on this video essay, all right, who is able to piece together words with a script, all right, is criticizing a live streamer who is trying to form his thoughts on the spot, all right, who, by the way, isn't doing that bad whatsoever, okay? So the fact that this is even like happening in the first place is this is such an empty it's such an empty critique. It really is just a straight up a very empty critique. But yeah.
Politics, and by your own admission, the left isn't even playing the game of politics. They're just doing something else, which is violent, lighting things on fire, and the mass media doesn't really.
What? Did January 6th never happen, or what? Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, okay? But that thing was only like what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It wasn't that long. Like, a lot of conservatives simp for the Confederacy, and that shit only lasted for 4 years, and that's more than 50 years ago. What the fuck?
Focus on that. They'll make a global news story out of George Floyd dying, and that leads to global protests. But then lighting cars on fire, so many things that have been exposed on social media that the media doesn't cover. It would take me so long to go through all of them. Yeah, they're playing a different game. Violence. That's the different game they're playing. They're lying and they're violent. While the right, playing politics, misleading, propaganda, sure, but they're at least trying to play within the system, the democratic system.
That's not even true, right? Because Trump was literally trying to say the entire time. Oh wait, like this is why, dude. I just don't get this. Okay, it's like it has to be like cognitive dissonance. Okay, because it's literally the only way I can do to explain this away. All right, because Trump literally he called the 2020 election with Joe Biden fake. He said it was a fraudulent election. What do you mean this is within the system? It's not within. If it was within the system, he would have said that, yeah, you know what, it was a fair It was a free and fair election. And Joe Biden is the fair winner of it, right? But to this day, he still says that Joe Biden fucking stole the election away from him. He just couldn't get over it, right? Like it fucking traumatized. He's made it his entire personality to be a Joe Biden hater, right? And in addition to that, like there's also the Michigan, slate elector scheme, okay, where he is literally trying to steal the election verbatim, okay, where he is literally he literally has people under him who is trying to have fake electors, right? In order to steal the election. Yeah, and in addition, the stand back and stand by thing, right? After Charlottesville happened, he said that there was very fine people on both sides, right? The false equivalency between neo-Nazis, the KKK, and like people who protest neo-Nazis and the KKK, and he tells the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Okay, dude. And guess what they did, okay? On January 6th, they were one of the main instigators. They had a whole scheme going, all right? So yeah, they kind of did stand back and stand by, ironically enough, okay? So yeah, like, what the fuck is this, like, fucking content creator even saying or even talking about? It's like, just clown shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That's it. Yeah.
So what I'm gathering is the right is playing by the rules in terms of politics and trying to get votes and get people elected, while the left is not trying to do that. They're just doing this other thing. I wonder why people are leaving the left when this is what you're saying. This is all you're giving them. Everything you're saying is thought terminating. You're not encouraging anyone to think critically. It's when it comes to criticizing the left, it's whatever, it's weird, it's just like, I don't know, like they're just doing just something else. He's been streaming for 15 years and he's been on the left and he's just like, beats me, man, I don't know. After the quarantine race war of 2020, Black Lives Matter.
Dude, what the fuck? Beats me, dude. I don't know. What? I like how this person is so stupid. Like, he doesn't even understand what the fuck Destiny is saying. And then when he doesn't understand it, he's just gonna say, you know what? I think that Destiny just straight up does not make any sense for anybody. You know? Simply because I don't understand it. Because I don't understand it, nobody understands it, okay? It's like literally Dunning. Should I call it Dunning-Kruger? Right? Isn't Dunning-Kruger like the thing where it's like you are so stupid to the point where you have deluded yourself into thinking a certain way and you believe that you are correct, right? Like it's literally Dunning-Kruger. Like the creator of this video is so stupid that he doesn't understand any of Destiny's arguments or anything that he says in any of his commentary. All right. By the way, this is a fatal side effect of being a conservative. Okay, it's just being mentally retarded. So by doing this, he assumes that everybody who watches the video or watches Destiny will agree with him, right? That Destiny is just saying a bunch of nothing and doesn't actually understand politics. And by extension, since his audience is probably full of dumb retards as well, right? Since this is a conservative content creator, like by extension, you know, all these people are also going to be clueless to what the fuck Destiny is saying and predisposed to whatever this guy is saying, right? So it's literally bias within bias within bias, and yeah.
I guess we solved racism because that problem went away. No more racism apparently. So yeah, just something odd going on. Are you kidding me, dude? Come on, be real, dude. Be so for real.
Then what the left plays when it comes to politics, and I'm talking mainstream left people now, like Democrats or whatever, in terms of being willing to break rules. But then I notice online, there's also, in terms of the alternative media spaces, they're also playing a different game. I think the right plays a morally abhorrent and disgusting game when it comes to how they exercise power. I think they do it in an authoritarian manner, and I think there's no place for it in the United States of America. But when it comes to how they exercise their social power, I think that the right actually exercises social power more effectively than the left does, because they exercise it for political ends.
What kind of circular word salad was that? Their politics are absolutely disgusting and abhorrent and authoritarian and terrible. Never says how, never gives an example. It's just let the audience fill.
Yeah, he doesn't need to give an example there because he literally spent his entire career explaining like why the right sucks, okay? Like he shouldn't be giving like obviously giving examples is pretty important, but like if you ignore every single possible like every other Destiny video or whatever the fuck, right? Like he talks about like the very specific points in which conservative shit is incorrect, right? On like 99% of the video. It's just that for that one commentary, he's talking about like the meta practice of the entire game of politics, right? Like he's not talking about he's not talking about policy in that one instance of commentary, right? Big deal, big whoop, right? He shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be obligated to in every single possible fucking meta conversation, right?
In those cracks in their own mind. But their social power, that's what they're good at. That's really effective because it leads right back
Foodshops is a sex pest defender. I probably am, okay? I've defended way worse, to be honest.
to their political power. What was the point of saying that? He's gonna.
Oh my god, just listen to this cringe retard thinking that he's actually made a like good point. Like he actually thinks he's made a good point.
Buy some time. It just has to have this title on the video, and his audience is playing video games, taking out the garbage in between that, doing their homework, not really listening to what he's saying.
Have you seen how she talks to Misaki? Poor Misaki? What do you mean? What does that mean?
It's just, you know, right-wingers are doing this pretty well, and so the left should do that pretty well too, but the far left seems to be a huge portion of the left, so whatever they're doing is just weird. It's not like the same, but did he not gather his presentation before presenting it to the class? Everything's being made up on the fly, and I just can't believe people watch this.
Because I keep going back to thinking, I'm like, imagine if you're on the right and you really think that like the 2020 election was rigged. How are you still going out and voting in 2024? Like these motherfuckers, they think that the whole world is against them, but they still show up at the polls and they still actually vote. What the fuck? So yeah, that all that to further my idea that I think that we do have to start being, and I already have been, I guess, and I'll continue to be. We need to be really brutal on cutting people out of the left that are not politically oriented in the political sphere.
His intentionally obtuse behavior is poetic. People on the right took this opportunity to go, we need to go out there and vote harder than we ever have before. We need to show out in numbers because they're going to fuck with the votes. And there's a degree of truth to that. And I just love how at the end, Destiny is like, yeah, like the hard left, it's like very exclusionary and very gatekeeping and pushing.
Because they are, like, all of this like comes from a fundamental misunderstanding, like and a fundamental conflation of the left all into one, right? Because the thing is that you would only like find that this video makes sense if you conflate the far left with the left and they're all just like one thing to you, right? But the truth is that they're not one thing. They're very different, right? Because when you look at people like Hassan Piker and his orbit, there's no shot you can say like they are the same as the liberals that we are here, right here today. I would never say Hassan is a part of my coalition or Hassan is a part of like my view, my worldview or something, right? But the thing is that what this content creator is doing is that he's saying that Destiny and Hassan are on the same side. That's what he's saying. He's saying Destiny and Hassan are on the same side. That's not true. That's just straight up not true. And in addition, if anything, Hassan is right-wing. I've said this many, many times before at this point, okay? The far left is the far right. The horseshoe theory is real. It's a real thing. So yeah, I just don't get like what the fuck this person is saying. Like this person is like, yeah, he is too far gone actually, yeah.
People out. I don't want to be like them. We need to be more brutal and exclude people from online politics. He's a genius, dude. How does he think of it? How does he do it? Are you ready for a pathetically desperate attempt to own the right? Here we go.
Wait, did I watch this on stream or did I watch this personally? Did you guys see the argument for why the best cabinet member is RFK? I will take credit for these people being brave enough to do this, okay? Because I attacked the firefighter. Maybe, maybe not. But like, we need more of this.
Go first.
You go first.
We'll go back. We'll do snake draft. The best cabinet secretary is actually RFK.
Dude, you know what this, like, do you know what this right-winger is doing? This right-winger is literally doing this. Wait, I need a piece of paper. I need a piece of paper to act this out, okay? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna use a towel, okay? Whatever, man. I'm just gonna use a towel. All right, this is my cum towel, okay? All right. It's literally like this. Is this you? Is this you? And it's like the most base thing ever. All right, it's literally that meme. Is this you? Is this you? And it's literally the most base thing ever. Dude, it's just, Oh, fuck. I mean, it literally is. This thing is the most base thing ever. Has to be cum tao. I literally called it the cum tao.
JBL.
You be quiet and listen.
I'm the best because you can't hear me. It's because of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Because these people need to get their consequences. You want to stop vaccinating your kids? You want to start drinking raw milk? I'm sitting back with my MMR and all my old man shingles vaccine. Have at it, Cletus.
Okay, I clearly took this exercise far too literally. It didn't occur to me to be like, the one who's gonna kill your children's my favorite, because that's what people deserve.
We just need more people who are brave, okay? We need more brave people, all right?
Oh yeah, dude, that's so brave and edgy. The reason why Destiny is an
Bro, how could you like possibly like moral grandstand on this shit when people have sexualized Greta Thunberg, saying like she wouldn't even when Greta Thunberg was like underage, okay? Do you know what right-leaning people said? Right-leaning people said, "Oh, she's not gonna be hot once she turns 18." People were making rape jokes about her, okay? And not only that, like after Paul Pelosi got attacked by a hammer by that MAGA person, like what was the MAGA person? I think yeah, okay, I think they were. But like but like after Paul Pelosi got attacked, right? The right wing also made fun of Paul Pelosi, right? Donald Trump Jr. also posted a meme saying, "Hey, my Halloween cosplay, my Halloween costume is gonna be Paul Pelosi, all right?" Or like the Paul Pelosi attacker. It literally like. So no, there should be no grandstanding, in my opinion, when it comes to political violence. Okay, like what a ridiculous fucking thing to say.
insufferable squirt hound is because when did the right start being super anti-vax? Was it during a pandemic? Where the left already tried this rhetoric? Acting like the right was going to die off because they didn't take the vaccine? Then somehow Trump won the popular vote? This is what makes the left cringe. This is why the left can't meme. They do not live in reality. They think they're being edgy by trying the same thing over and over again. But the video is called Why People Leave the Left, as Destiny is exhibiting behaviors of the exact reason why people leave the left. Are you ready, kids? Are you ready to hear him just read what someone in the chat?
Yeah, but like Hassan is probably the reason why people leave the left, is because he's so giga cringe to the point where people want to leave the left because they're annoying, okay? But like, that's, I don't think so. If anything, I felt as though like so many like right-leaning people have been convinced by Destiny or whatever the fuck, right, to move more towards the left. And he's convinced like far left people to move towards the right, right? So like the thing is yeah, dude, I feel like he's the exact opposite of whatever this content creator is trying to say.
Saying and trying to interpret the right in good faith, and
Which
Destiny's
what?
spurg
did I
impulse to have to compare it to the Nazis and call the chatter a Nazi is just chef's kiss.
Somebody said the good faith argument is that progressives know they have no chance of influencing conservatives, but have a chance to influence libs and Dems since they're closer politically. No, that's not a good faith argument. Because that's not a real argument. That's a bad faith argument because you're making up excuses for a side that doesn't need them. That's a bad faith argument. That's like saying the steel man of Nazi Germany was that Jewish people actually all were secretly trying to destroy the country, and Hitler really had a really strong belief in that. And they did a lot of research, and they really figured that out. That's a bullshit ass. Don't do this thing where you steel man good faith or whatever stuff that that's not what they think. That's clearly not what they think. That's not true, and that's not what they're doing. And when you give that charitable interpretation, you are a Nazi. You're just as bad as them, and you should feel bad for doing that. That's not what they do. That's not what they do. It's just not what they do.
What a stupid pussy. He's trying to act better than the far lefties and be like, no, we're different. Anyways, you're a Nazi if you think that. You can't write it. You can write it. It would just be not believable and trite and
I don't think he called anyone a fucking Nazi. What?
Not a good faith argument, because that's not a real argument. That's a bad faith argument, because you're making up excuses for a side that doesn't need them. That's a bad faith argument. That's like saying the steel man of Nazi Germany was that Jewish people actually all were secretly trying to destroy the country, and Hitler really had a really strong belief in that. And they did a lot of research, and they really figured that out. That's a bullshit ass. Don't do this thing where you steel man good faith or whatever stuff that there is. That's not what they think. That's clearly not what they think. That's not true, and that's not what they're doing. And when you
Yeah, well, I mean, Destiny isn't even calling anyone a nut. He's saying that he's making a fucking analogy, okay? Like, dude, this content creator doesn't even know what an analogy is. This is literally Dunning-Kruger on full blast. Like, he doesn't even know that Destiny is making an analogy here. He's not saying he's literally calling people Nazis, okay? He's making a fucking Vosh level, okay? Like Nazi, like, analogy. It's the most extreme example because it's the one that works. But
give that
you know what? It's my bad. It's my bad for assuming that conservatives were smart. Okay, for this content creator to be smart.
Charitable interpretation, you are a Nazi. You're just as bad as them, and you should feel bad for doing that. That's not what they do. That's not what they do. It's just not what they do.
What a stupid pussy. He's trying to act better than the far lefties and be like, no, we're different. Anyways, you're a Nazi if you think that. You can't write it. You can write it. It would just be not believable and trite and cliche because it's what they do over and over and over again. But he's about to bring up COVID.
This is the average video essay, dude. We have BreadTube video essays at home. We have BreadTube video essays at home, and it's like this fucking 4chan poll retard, dude. Oh my god, gay and retarded, dude. Fake and gay. Like, it's literally this 4chan poll retard. Is like, dude, oh my god. Dude, right-wing video essays are so cooked, dude. Right-wing video essays are actually so cooked.
From a chatter, and we're gonna smoothly begin to end this video with going into one of my favorite things that I never get to talk about, is the hilarious COVID data around the world to give you a clearer picture of why our numbers are so high.
I feel like the consequences shit doesn't even matter, though. Look at COVID. It's not like anyone looked at the deaths in America compared to other countries and said, maybe Trump was going on lockdown or they got on. I agree with you that these are all problems as well.
So they don't look at the COVID deaths in other countries and look at the deaths that we had in the United States and think, wow, Trump did a bad job during lockdown. We're not even going to go into the Biden administration. We're not being political at all whatsoever. We're just going to go into the data. Here's what you have to believe the global COVID data. You didn't come here to hear me talk. You came here to watch me read COVID stats off of Grok. In the United States, with people 75 and older.
By the way, why do you think why do you think also at the same time, right? Like he's not even taking in the bias that if your reporting is good, if your reporting is accurate and your reporting is good, your count is obviously going to be higher because your reporting is good. It's more accurate, okay? Obviously, right? Bad reporting is obviously going to lead to lower numbers, but like if you do no reporting, if your reporting is shit, right? Then obviously, you're not going to have you're not going to have good numbers or high numbers even, right? Because you could underreport or overreport. It really depends. But the thing is that there's another reasoning behind this, just FYI, okay? Not reasoning, but there's another point against MAGA against this, okay? Because MAGA loves talking about how bad the vaccine was, right, for COVID, but they never talk about the fact that that Trump was actually the one that rolled out Operation Warp Speed, right? Trump was the one that started the mass vaccination rollouts, right? So the fact that even happened, but then, conservatives are more than happy to forget about that and place the blame of the vaccines on Joe Biden is ludicrous. So
about 613,000 died. In all of India, 534,000 people died in total from COVID. So you have to believe.
Okay, why do you think like less people died there? It's because they really put they put together the country, all right, and they really focused in on making sure that everybody who had COVID or tested positive for COVID was sufficiently quarantined, completely detached from the rest of society, making sure that they are being fed, they're being, you know, given food, right? There's so many reasons. There's just so many reasons why COVID deaths are so low in other countries per capita, right? It's because they actually did a lot of things right. One of the reasons why we really struggled with things on our end, at the very least, right, here in the United States, is because of the fact that it is because we had a lot of conflicting orders and commands between state and the government and politicians, and a lot of political power at play, because conservatives and MAGA literally turned COVID into a political discourse issue, right? That's the problem. Yeah. Kina, hi Foodshops. Hello. Hello, Kina. Hello, Chinese Twink. Okay, all right. Hi.
That in the United States, people just 75 and older, 612,000, and in all of India, 534,000. Why is that funny? Because they stopped counting in 2023 in the United States, and they're still counting in India as of June 2nd of
Oh my god, he is literally his own fucking JPEG avatar, literally.
2025. But that's not fair. India, obviously, is protected by elephant magic. So, let's go to a place not protected by elephant magic. I'm talking about...
Huh?
About the place where the uppity
He's being ironic, right?
blacks instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called... Africa. As of November 18th, 2022, Africa recorded 258,000 COVID deaths. They really just stopped reporting pretty early, but I guess that's an unfair comparison. I mean, what would you say to that? That they're too black and stupid to know how to count? That was it. That was it across the entire continent.
I like how this guy was talking about... Dude, we're doing 10 IQ COVID again. This guy made an anti-Destiny hit piece, okay? An anti-Destiny hit piece. But for once, it's not about his sex scandals, okay? It's about his politics. Just for once, okay? Which makes this video incredibly entertaining, because it just goes to show how retarded the conservative argument is against Destiny, okay? Or any of it. It's just like, again, okay, so earlier in this video, so he's joking about how stupid Africans are right now, right? Because he's like a 4chan poltard. But like, but the funniest part of this is that literally earlier he was like trying to moral grandstand about how how the left, on how Destiny likes making edgy jokes about Corey Competore, right? About the firefighter who was shot, right? Like, he was literally trying to moral grandstand, and here he is, like, talking about, oh, Africa stopped recording COVID deaths because Africans are too stupid to count. Like, what? You aren't even consistent in your own fucking video. Like, you're not even consistent in your own fucking video. Like, what the fuck?
Can you believe that? The United States had more people 75. The United States had over twice the COVID deaths of people 75 and older than all of Africa. Why do you think that's strange? Wrong question. Here's how it's wrong. Let's see how the news covered COVID in the United States and which race of people had a higher per capita of getting COVID. MSNPC. When COVID hit black Americans hard, too many white Americans shrugged. Well, they are a shruggable bunch. The higher rates of infection and death weren't the result of anything black people, capital B black people had done to make ourselves sick. They were an example of how systemic racism plays out in our lives. Yeah, when the racism goes away, like in Africa, there's slaves, but there's no racism. Then the COVID goes away. Incredible. It's so magical. So let's end it here. I am now laying down on my back, throwing my legs behind my head, and you can eat my butt if you believe those numbers. I've seen my butthole in the mirror. I wouldn't want to go a single round with that.
conservatives, MAGA people, stop being the gayest people challenge, and releasing this video during Pride Month is crazy. I've seen my own butt. I've seen my own anus in the fucking mirror. Releasing this during Pride Month, and then
guy. But here's the good news. You don't have to.
please tell me he has less than 5,000 subs. Oh, he does have less than 5,000. He has 2,200, okay? But this one has 43. He got 43,000 views. 43,000 views, dude.
To eat my butt.
Yikes.
Because you can think critically as
What?
to how methodologically flawed these numbers have to be. Who's ready for the world's most cruel Illuminati, World Economic Forum 1350 prank to ever possibly exist? The combined population of Europe and the United States is estimated to be approximately 1.08 billion people. Global population is estimated to be around 8.23 billion people. According to my calculator, that's right around 13% of the population. Official global COVID deaths? Right around 7 million. Official COVID deaths in the United States and Europe? Right around 3.4 million. And my calculator tells me that's right around 50%. So 13% of the global population was responsible for just about 50% of the COVID deaths. Turns out, the United States and Europe are blacker than we thought. Have a good one.
What a horrible video. Get me out. Dude. Oh my god. This is what the opposition looks like. It's over. Mhm. Check and mate. Alright. Okay, what else is there? Do I want to watch Mr. Girl? Do I want to watch Mr. Girl?